Hello and welcome. So in this lecture video, I'm going to be doing quick check problems, so practice problems, okay? So I'm on page 130 of your course pack. So what I want you to do is I want you to do number 71, and let's look at number 92 and just kind of give you a hint here just on how to handle number 92. Says the company had the following purchases during the current year, and I'm looking at this table right over here. 10 units at 120, 20 units at 130, 15 units at 140, 12 units at 150, 10 units at 160. December 31st, there were 26 units remaining, and then these 26 consisted of 2 from January 4th, so 2 at the $120, 4 from February, so 4 at the $130, 6 from May, that's at the $140, 4 from September, and then 10 from November. And so this one used specific identification. What's the cost of ending inventory? Okay, so kind of look back at what we did with specific identification to see if you can't figure that one out. And then let's look at 93 on the next page. It says company had inventory on November 1st, 5 units. It costed $20 each, and it goes on, it says so forth and lists all those, and it says using LIFO, what's the value of ending inventory? So I want you to do number 71 on page 130, number 92 that I just went over on page 130, number 93 here on page 131, and then go ahead and also do number 95 on page 132. Tackle those problems, and I want you to pause the lecture video and do those problems and then come back and then we'll check it together, okay? Thanks. All right, welcome back. So let's see how you did. So this first one is the inventory valuation method that has advantages of assigning an amount to inventory on the balance sheet that approximates its current costs and also mimics the actual flow of goods for businesses first in, first out. Okay, that's FIFO. That FIFO mimics the actual flow of goods for most businesses. And that's something that we talked about. So here you have to figure out the cost of ending inventory according to specific identification. So all I did was say, okay, we have January 2 at the 120, February leftover 4 at the 130. For May, let's see, we have 6 at that 140 cost, and so on and so forth, and I just multiplied that. 2 at 120 gives me 240, 4 at 130 gives me 520, 6 at 140 gives me the 840, and 4 at 150 gives me 600, 10 at the 160 gives me 1600. Add up all these, $3,800. B is the right answer. Okay? Let's look at number 93. Company had inventory on hand November 1st of 5 units that cost $20 each. November 2nd, they purchased 10 more at 22, gives us the 220. So you can see right over here with my table, I'd be beginning inventory on 11-1 beginning, 5 at 20, it's $100. 11-2, they purchased 10 more at 22, gives us the 220. Plus the 100 gives us our inventory balance of 320 on the 2nd. On the 6th, we purchased another 6 at 25. That's $150 total. Plus the 320 gives us 470 inventory balance on the 6th. And then on the 8th, it says that we sold 8 units and we're using last in, first out. That means we sold all the 6 from the 6th, and then we sold 2 from the 2nd. So the 6 at 25 gives us a 150, and then the 2 at the cost of $22 from the 2nd is 44. Add those two together gives us cost goods sold of 194. That's not what the problem is asking for, though. It's asking for the value of ending inventory. So I can take my 470 minus my 194 to give me my 276, or what I could also do, say which ones do I have left over? Well, I still have 8 at the 22 because I only sold 2. 176, and I still have all my beginning inventory of $100. 176 plus 100 gives me 276. E is the right answer. Okay, so let's look at number 95. Same kind of deal. So we had our date 6-1 beginning, 10 at 10, 100. 6-3 we purchased 20 at 12. That's $240. The 240 plus the 100 gives me 340. And then on 6-5, it says we sold 12 units. Which ones did we sell? Well, since we're using first in, first out. We start with the oldest ones, right? Or the ones that we acquired first are the ones that we sold first. Which ones did we acquire first? The beginning inventory. 10 at the 10 is 100, and then we work our way down. We did 2 at the 12 for 24. Add those two together. 124 is the cost of the unit sold right there. Okay? So let's take a look at 128. Let me just go over this table to make sure everybody understands, and then I'll turn you loose to do 128 and 129 and 130 and 131. Okay? All right. So let's look at this one. Purchase company as the following activities. So May 1st is beginning inventory. It says units acquired at cost 150 units at $10 each. On May 5th, they did another purchase, 220 units at $12 each. May 10th, they sold 140 units, where it says units sold at retail. See this 140 at 20? This 20, that's the price. So think of it on the 10th that they sold 140 units. Okay? You need to figure out the cost. On May 15th, they purchased another 100 units at $13 cost. And then on May 24th, they sold 150 units at $21 each, and that 21 is the price. Okay? So on the 28th, you have to figure out the value of ending inventory on 128. On 129 here on page 133, it's the exact same table, same company, purchase company, but we're saying what's the cost of goods sold using FIFO. On number 130 on page 134, it's the exact same table, same company, purchase company, but cost assigned to ending inventory using LIFO. And then on page 135, this number 131, that's on page 135, purchase company again, same exact table. Okay, same exact purchases and beginning inventory, all right? So do through number 131 on page 135, and then we'll check it, and then we'll do the last one, 159, okay? All right, so pause the lecture video and give those a try. Thanks. All right, hello and welcome back. So let's see how you did. So with our 128 right over here, the answer is A, and let's walk through that. So we have our date beginning, 5/1 beginning, 150 at 10, gives us an inventory balance of 1,500. On the 5th, we purchase another 220 at 12, does 2640, plus our 1,500 gives us an inventory balance of the 5th, 4,140. On the 10th, it says we sold 140 units. Remember, this is the price. That's not the cost. What is the cost of goods sold? Well, you have to use FIFO, which means you're selling your beginning inventory first and then moving down. Well, we sold 140 units and our beginning inventory had 150 units. So we can sell them all at that cost of $10. That gives us our cost of goods sold of 1,400. 4,140 inventory balance on the 5th. Minus our cost of goods sold of 1,400 on the 10th, gives us inventory balance on the 10th equal to 2,740. On the 15th, we purchased another 100 at 1,300, plus our 2,740, gives us our 4,040 inventory balance of the 15th. And then on the 24th, it says we sold another 150 units. Remember, the $21 up here in the table, that's the price. That's not the cost. To figure out the cost of the goods sold, you have to use first in, first out. So we sold all those 10, the remaining 10, in the beginning inventory, and then we sold 140 at the 12 right there. So we take our 100 from beginning inventory, the 10 at the 10, gives us 100, and then the 140 at the 12 gives us 1,680. Add those two together, 1,780, 4,040 minus my cost of goods sold of 1,780 on the 24th gives me my ending inventory balance of 2,260. A is the right answer. All right, so that's number 128 on page 132. Let's look at number 129 on page 133. Well, if I were to look back at that table that I just did, it makes things a lot easier because all I have to do is say on the 10th, here was my cost of goods sold of 1,400. On the 24th, here's my cost of goods sold of 1,780. Add the two together, 3,180 right there. Okay, and so my answer is my 3,180 right over here. B is the right answer for number 129, okay? So let's continue on to page 134 of your course pack. Let's take a look at this one. So this is the exact same table, exact same setup, except I'm asking you to do it during LIFO. So on date 5/1, beginning inventory 150 at 10, 1500. On the 5th, we bought another 220 at 12. That's a total cost of 2640 plus the 1500 gives us total inventory balance on the 5th 4140. On the 10th, we sold 140 units. Okay. Now, which cost did we sell them at? The 10 or the 12? Well, we're assuming that the newest inventory is the one that we sell first. So that's the $12. We sold 140 then because we had 220. So we only sold 140. So we have enough at the $12 times the 12 gives us our 1680 right there. And then we could take our 4,140 minus our 1680 gives us our inventory balance on the 10th of 2460. On the 15th, we purchased another 100 at $13 for 1,300 plus the 2460 from the 10th gives us our inventory balance of the 15th of 3760. Then on the 24th, it says we sold 150 units. Remember up here where it says 150 at 21, that's the price. 21 is the price. You have to figure out the cost using LIFO. So again, which ones did we sell? Well, we can start it. We sold all the ones at 13 because we were selling the newest inventory first. Okay, so the newest inventory is these ones at 13, and then we still have some left over at the $12. So we didn't sell any of the ones in the beginning inventory. Okay, 100 at 13, 1,300, and then 50 at the 12. To give us a 600, that gets us up to the 150 total units. That's a cost of goods sold of 1,900. Then I can take my 3,760 minus my 1,900 gives us my ending inventory on the 24th equal to 1,860. C is the correct answer for number 130 on page 134. Let's look at number 131 here on page 135. Well, if you set up a table like I did, all you'd have to do is look at the May 10th cost of goods sold and the May 24th cost of goods sold. Look back at the table, May 10th, 1680 cost of goods sold, May 24th, 1900 cost of goods sold. Add those two together, 3,580. D is the right answer. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and pause the lecture video and do number 159, and then we'll check it. So again, with number 159, a company made the following purchases during the year. January 10th, 15 units at 360. March 15th, 25 units at 390. April 25th, 10 units at 420. July 30th, 20 units at 450. October 10th, 15 units at 480. Okay, and then it lists which ones are left over, and then you need to use specific identification to calculate the cost. All right, so pause the lecture video and give this one a try. Okay, hello, welcome back. So hopefully you got a final answer of 12,390. So it says January, there's one left over. The cost of January is 360. March, there's two left over. The cost of March is 390. So 1 times the 360 gives me 360. 2 times the 390 gives me 780. 5 left over from April at 420 gives me 2,100. 15 left over from July at a cost of 450 gives me 6,750. 5 left over from October at a cost of 480 gives me 2,400. Add up all these, 12,390 is the correct answer. Okay. All right, so that concludes these quick check problems. Thank you so much, and in the next lecture video, we'll talk about lower of cost or market. Thanks. Bye.